Yo, is someone gonna say something?
Fam, we're waiting for you. We're waiting for the infamous opening line.
Yo, Laurent, what are you saying, bro?
Wow, there it is. There it is.
Come on,
Yo,
bro. That's
CJ,
trademark at this point.
do I do I start it with my infamous question that got him heated last pod, or do I just leave it?
I mean, it is the opening banter segment, so anything is on the table at this point.
Yo, Laurent, what color shirt are you wearing?
You can't tell from
No, I can't. I actually can't.
To be fair, we can actually only really see like your face and then like maybe
Yeah.
your a bit of your shoulders.
oh, so I mean, like, isn't that what you're supposed to see? I don't get it.
No, no,
Well, that's why
I'm
he's asking you what you're wearing,
yeah,
what
that's
color
what
you're
I'm
wearing.
asking you. What color shirt is it?
Oh, okay. No, it's just gray.
I was optimistic that it was the what's that shade I'm looking for? What's the name of the shade I'm looking for, CJ? Um
Shit, I don't know. I think you might be thinking of a certain blue.
yeah, yeah, there you go. Blue, a shade of blue.
Yeah, but what's the shade called though? Hmm?
Who are you asking?
The guy who initiated the yeah,
Dude,
what's the shade called?
the shade? I think it's just a shade of blue. Like it's just like,
Don't they call it like isn't it like a royal blue? Am I
well,
right?
there's nothing royal about that blue, but yeah, it's
Jeez.
called the royal blue.
Holy bro.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Man's had a good day, huh? One too
These
many sips of
green
water on the
teas.
boat.
Yeah, bro, the green teas are flowing. There's a big glass of green tea in my hand. Um, yeah, Laurent does not find this funny. Okay, let's move on to the next.
Yo, no, hold on. Honestly, I don't know if I'm ruining the flow of the structure of the pod, but speaking about the Club World Cup, just real quick, this is no banter, no bullshit. Like, Laurent, when does Chelsea play next? Because I saw I know they played earlier this week. I've been kind of keeping track
2
of
p.m.
the game.
tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Who do they play?
I can't even pronounce this team's name, bro.
Oh, okay.
Flamingo.
Is that
Flamingo?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game.
actually?
Jorginho's Brazilian
I
team?
think I
Yeah,
think he's right. Yeah. It's like
Jeez.
the red logo, right?
yeah, Flamingo. Yeah, red and black. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually gonna be a good game.
It is.
Yeah. So, um, but yeah,
Couple upsets so far.
yeah, a couple upsets. Inter Miami beating Porto. Um, Real Madrid and Al Hilal drawing.
Honestly,
Inter.
bro, that Al Hilal team played very nice, man.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're a good team. I didn't realize that they had Renan Lodi as well on the left side, and on the right side they had João Cancelo, Milinkovic Savic, Koulibaly, Mitrovic. Like they have a decent squad.
Wow.
Um,
That's where João Cancelo is right now?
yeah,
Holy,
fall from grace, huh?
for real.
Dortmund and Fluminense they drew. In my opinion, that's a upset. Benfica Boca Juniors, that was a wild game. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me just fact check myself. There was three red cards in that game.
Jeez.
Yeah, two for Boca Juniors and one for Benfica. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we were talking about it off pod. What's your guys' take? Like, I know we were talking about it in our group chat. I I think it's just a money grab, and I don't really see um as a neutral. Um, it's something to watch, and obviously, I love football and I love taking in the content. And I don't think it's going to get serious, in my opinion, until you get into the knockout stages or like the last round of games for the group stage. But it's just a money grab. It's literally the Super League, but there's a qualification to get into it. Um, I think Laurent, you had a different view of it. What's your take on the What's your take on the FIFA Club World Cup?
No, I think it's good. Honestly, I would say you you could you could forego the Conference League, in my opinion, and keep this. But then yet again, right, the Conference League is for teams who often find themselves right on the lower side of the competition and whatnot. But overall, man, in terms of the idea behind it, I think it's good. It makes sense. Um, and the reason why I know a lot of people just are not liking it this year is one, the attendance is poor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Giving where it is hosted, right? And I'm hearing too, the games are during work hours.
Yeah, it's like 9 a.m., noon, and then 3 p.m., which is
Hmm.
like there's a couple games that are at 6 p.m., but even then at 6 p.m. any
Right.
American city, like tomorrow Benfica Auckland City is at noon,
Hmm.
Flamingo Chelsea is at 2 p.m., LAFC and ES Tunis is at 6 p.m., and then
Hmm.
Bayern Munich and Boca Juniors is at 9 p.m. So like I can see the 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. games having a big turnout, but
Hmm.
the Flamingo Chelsea and in the Benfica Auckland City, like
Right. Yeah,
so.
no. Um, yeah, I think I saw a chart that was listing out the attendance and the percentage. I think the highest percentage game thus far has been the Real Madrid Al Hilal game. Second was probably
Boca Juniors.
yeah,
Yeah, Boca
yeah,
Juniors,
Boca
Benfica.
Benfica.
That
Sorry.
one I think was actually the highest one next Real Madrid Al Hilal was second.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Boca Junior fans apparently in Miami Beach, they were like bringing their flags and stuff and like
Mm-hmm.
planting their flags.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it
okay.
was actually pretty. I saw some of the scenes. Like, it was actually pretty cool. Like their fans are wild.
Mm, okay, okay. Yeah, no, but so okay, like the only issue I would have with it going forward is because World Cup essentially is every 4 years, right?
Mhm.
Mind you, if the World Cup was every year, it would not be as special, right? Because it's rare, right? If something is usually right, it's rarer, you experience it less, right? It becomes something that is more so valued, right?
Mhm.
So I think maybe they should try to look to probably make this cup every 3 years, something like that, right? If you're not trying to do every four. So you increase right the length. And then if you want to have something in between then, I guess you could keep the original format you had. I don't know, somehow maybe incorporate that, right? Where the original format was probably like six teams, six, seven, like you know what I mean? Like do you guys remember when
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you
But but if I may, here's my question to you. Like during that time, even if they did it every 3 years, the World Cup is every 4 years, Euros is in between there. You have nation
yeah, you are
leagues.
right. I just took
You
that
have
in, yeah.
yeah, you
So
have nation leagues, you have AFCON, you have, the Asian Cup, you have all these different competitions. You have Conference League to your point, you have um Europa, you have Champions League, you have the respective domestic competitions, the cup competitions, and then you have the domestic leagues. So to me, it just seems like it's more of a money grab rather than anything. And again, as a neutral, I think it just hurts the players that are going to compete next year. As an Arsenal fan, I love the fact that the likes of Chelsea, Man City, even like the Real Madrid and all these other teams that we have a potential to face in the Champions League are in this competition because it's going to give us an advantage that their players are not going to be rested, right? They might be a little rusty at the beginning of the season. Um, but what's your thoughts on that? Because you hear a lot of players coming out against being overplayed and not having the appropriate rest. And you yourself, you're dealing with an injury. Now, yours is, I don't want to, underplay it, but like you don't have access to the best medical, right? Like you don't have someone at your service every 20 minutes if you wanted to. You don't have the, best facilities because we're just average Joes. Could have
mm,
been me, could have been CJ. So like do you now imagine put yourself in that with this injury and then be expected to play 80 games a year.
right, right. I mean, I see what you're saying. I definitely I understand it on that front. And mind you, when you say money grab, right? I feel like the same could be said for any birth of any competition at one point in time, right? Like
Right?
at
You're
least,
right. You're right.
right? Like and yeah, but obviously now the question of like like you're not gonna like fucking keep cramming it, right? And because at some point it becomes too many competitions, right? Um, and yes, injury is something to that they do have to factor out, right? I don't know what the stats are on that though. The injury rates ever since the birth of the new Champions League format, right? Like, because I know that's increased the number of games, and there's been other things as well, and what that looks like on all clubs, right? Like, are we noticing a trend in players getting injured more frequently, right? So I'd like to see what the numbers are in that. Um, that would be obviously something to right to factor in. However, right, FIFA, the ruling, and it seems like this cup is here to stay,
Yeah.
right? So now, if that's the case, again, my only concern now is what do you do to maximize the potential with this idea, right? Like so that you actually get fans that are excited to turn out and watch their clubs play, right? And I read some this on a forum where also they're arguing at the club level, it's well, I get to see my club almost every week, as opposed to the World Cup, right? Sometimes it's like it's rarer to see your international team play, right?
Mhm.
Which adds to the fact that I want to, travel, buy the ticket, right? Um, yeah, but I don't know, man. I do like it. There's right, like
The
I feel like,
groundwork is there. Sorry,
hmm
Ron, the groundwork
hmm
is there, but again, I just keep coming back to the player welfare. Like there has to be something that gives.
mm,
Like this year, if we just look at our, some of the teams that we talk about, like we always talk about Arsenal, we talk about Chelsea, we talk about Spurs and the injury crisis there. Like, yes, part of it might be overtraining, but a part of it is also a lot of those players are international players that have played a lot of games in the last 12 to 18 months. It's
hmm
going to eventually catch up to you, right? They're not robots. Um, and while I do think that there is something with this competition, the fact that you're seeing like Chelsea be able to play a Brazilian team, or you're seeing like a New Zealand team being able to, play Bayern Munich. Yes, Auckland City lost 10-0, but that's still something that they wouldn't have seen in a competitive position ever. Maybe in a preseason friendly or something like that, where all the stars are not even going.
hmm
So from that aspect, I do agree with you, but I think it's going to really come back down to player welfare. Um, and I can just see the players getting. I feel like we're teetering on that. Um, we're teetering on that line of the players just saying we're not going to play anymore
mm,
because it's getting a lot. Like I love it as a like I said, as a viewer, as a neutral fan, I love it. I love the football content, because these are usually the dead months of the year. Of course, it's summertime, it's not really dead, but for football, it's usually dead. You're just waiting for transfers.
right, right.
That's the only part for me. CJ, do you have any differing thoughts from Laurent and I, or like similar thoughts that you want to echo?
Honestly, I think you hit the nail on the head. A bit like with the money grab stuff, but mostly I think player welfare and just the timing of the tournament. I guess, this is technically supposed to be the off season, right, for the players. And from an Arsenal perspective, I'm happy that we're not in it. I can say because for clubs like our ops, Man City and Chelsea, for example, like they're coming back to the Premier League a bit behind schedule.
Yeah.
When by the time that season kicks off, compared to the Arsenals, the Liverpools, who are going to be uh, well rested, fully fresh, hopefully, and start their preseason a little bit earlier. Whereas the likes of City are going to be playing a little bit of catch up. So yeah, I fully echo the thought about players not being robots, um, and just being run into the ground essentially. We have to, yeah, they're human beings at the end of the day, and whilst we look up to them as professional athletes, it's like we forget that they have injuries and they have lungs and they have a life,
Yeah.
essentially, that,
Yeah.
they can't, they're not just on battery, that you can recharge them every 24 hours or so. Like, they need there's such thing as rest and recovery that fully exists. So, but we were talking offline. Obviously, Laurent mentioned in our group chat last Saturday about, or whatever day it was earlier this week, about the potential of this tournament, and I do see a potential for the tournament as well. I did agree with
Mhm.
that part, that there's room for growth and expansion for it. The level of competition would need to improve, for sure, and I think it would have to be revisited, the format on how teams qualify and which teams can qualify, because I do feel like a little bit very sporadic and a little bit random at the moment. But there's room for growth for sure. But I think that needs to be discussed, in the FIFA circles for those who run the show. Um, but yeah. Um, as of right now, it's not there, and I don't think yet the timing was too great. But yeah, like I said, from an Arsenal perspective, um, there's more things that I'm concerned about right now that we're going to get into, as the pod develops. But yeah, just a little bit of my early takes on that.
Well, great segue with what you said. Um, well, first of all, welcome in again, episode 28. Can't believe we made it to 28. As always, joined by my co-hosts, my friends, my colleagues, my brothers. Even though I like to pick on one a little bit more than the other. The only man who never wears his team's colors. Um,
Ah, there it is. There it is. Oh man, I was here. I thought it would be that episode, but nah, man.
He thought it was a safe space.
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
I really thought it was. You know what? I gotta contact the HR department at this point, man, because I'm starting to feel very uncomfortable.
Oh fuck. Um, yep, that's Laurent. Um, and then my Arsenal brother CJ.
Yo, yo.
Um, back again. But like I said, great segue to the first talking point. And I think the only way to appreciate this talking point is by
Is by what?
exactly. There's nothing to say because we don't have any fucking signings. I want to make a point. And if you're watching this, you should have seen how Laurent and CJ both looked at me to be like, "Yo, did this guy freeze? Is he what just happened?" Yeah, I'm just gonna take a minute for a second. Um, we brought in Andrea Berta, and I don't think it's a fault of him at this point because we've seen his track record, we know what he's done. Uh, Edu and Mikel have been fantasizing over Martin Zubimendi, Benjamin Sesko, Victor Gyökeres, Nico Williams, Rafael Leao, and on and on and on and on and on and on. Why is it that we're one of the only teams that are in European football next year in the Premier League that have done nothing, zip, zero? And we are going to get into the fixtures being released. Like alarm bells. Like, what do you do? What I don't understand is what are you waiting for to pull the trigger? We were talking about it in our group chat. Like, what is it that you're waiting for? What is it? What more do you need to see to say, hey, we need a number nine. Hey, Kai Havertz is good, but we still need a true out and out number nine. Hey, we might lose Thomas Partey. Just sign Zubamendi so you can move on to the next target. Hey, we don't want to lose Saka again. Maybe we need to get a winger. It's becoming a joke. And, shout out AFTV. They do their hashtag not a sponsor. They do their transfer daily every single day. We're linked to this, that. Like, honestly, like, we're going backwards to being a banter club, but for completely different reasons. Back then, we were a banter club because we were finishing eighth and 10th and nonsense, and we had Shorkran Mustafi and David Luiz and all these Chelsea rejects. Now we're the banter club because we're literally rumored to buy every single player under the sun. And by the time that season rolls around, we're signing the likes of Raheem Sterling and Neto on loans. Am I saying anything that's out of the ordinary? Am I saying anything that's wrong?
It's funny you mentioned AFTV because they do that transfer daily every day. Like Robbie will sit there and do transfer daily every single day. And I'm almost like, dude, I feel sorry for you because from a content creator's perspective, you do transfer daily every day. At this point, you just all you can really do it and bring to each episode every morning is probably some made up rumors because, you know,
That's
there's
definitely
not
what's going on at this point, bro.
there's not much to talk about. Like what
Yeah,
rumors,
like
bro, we do this, mind you, he does, they'll do transfer daily every single day. We do this once a week, and from last week to this week now, nothing has changed. We're going to be talking about the same thing. Is
nothing.
it Gyökeres? Is it Sesko? We've been talking about that for the last 2 to 3 weeks, once a week. How is there nothing moving within the weeks? You know what I mean? And meanwhile, I couldn't imagine us sitting here doing this every day, waffling, making up some transfer rumors because Arsenal isn't doing anything. You know what I mean? We'd have to make up shit off the top of our head. Like, how it's been a whole week. You think that within 7 days there would be movement? Yet we're still here talking about, oh, is it Gyökeres or is it Sesko? Linked with, interested in, negotiating, in talks, monitoring the situation. Like it's the same shit from week to week to week. And as far as I'm concerned, I just find the funny thing, like people will say, oh, be patient and this and that, but
Patient for what? Patient for what? We've been waiting for this. They knew from November. What are we being patient for? I'm sorry, but what are we being patient for? If
like
you're undecided, sorry, CJ, if you're
no,
undecided and you want to go for FFP, just get Sesko. It's not a problem. Get someone.
yeah, and my thing is this, like for a team who, like I said, I think I've said this before, for a team who finished second in the league 3 years in a row, and this season our second place wasn't really a respectable second place. Like we were way off it, double digits behind the winners. For a team who didn't do anything in January because we want to keep our powder dry for the summer, right? You would think that we would be first on the market when it went as soon as the season finishes, as soon as June comes around, bang. You would think that the team who finished second 3 years in a row is pissed and says, all right, we're going to be the first team on the market. We're going to have our transfers in already. You would think that the reason why we didn't sign anyone in January is because we know what we want. And I'm doing air quotation for those who aren't watching the visuals. We know what we want. Therefore, we kept our powder dry and tried to be a little bit cute and didn't make the big signing in January because, boom, in the summer, we know what we're going to do. We're on it.
Yeah.
How is the team that won the league showing more ambition than us? They have every right to just chill out, right? To just chill, put their feet up on the beach, relax, wait to see what their rivals are doing. Liverpool won the league, and they're pissed. They're going for Florian Wirtz. We mentioned this last week again. Frimpong, Corquez, who's one of the best left backs, young left backs in the league this season. I'm seeing links today that they want Mark Gahey. I'm seeing that they want Alexander Isak. You would think that they finished second place 3 years in a row, or they finished, in 15th where Man U is. Man U's pissed. They finished 15th, 16th, and they said, boom, Cunha through the door already. We're pissed. We want to. What we all know, Man U. We laugh at some of the signings they've made over the years, but it's still about the ambition, right? They finished where they finished, and they said, all right, first signings already through the door, not playing games. Give the new coach what he wants, fam. And then the thing is, oh no, be patient.
We're in
City,
phase 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
City, and Chelsea only made signings this early because they're in the Club World Cup. So that's why they made their signings so early. So be patient. Okay, Liverpool's not in the Club World Cup. United's not in the Club World Cup. Like, come on, man.
Spurs aren't in the Club World Cup and they signed Matthias Tell on a
Yep,
permanent.
wasting no time. Like, how do we not know by now who and what we want? We've been looking at Sesko for a year, and like I said, I don't even think Sesko is the guy for us personally. But if he is your guy, Arteta, Arsenal, then get him through the door now. Like, what are we wasting time for? Just get him through the door if that's the guy that you want.
You know what's funny? You say that, and I think the reason why they are going to go Sesko is because Gyökeres is more well-rounded, and the amount of money that they spent on Kai Havertz, I don't think they're going to bring in Gyökeres just for that reason. Because if Gyökeres comes, he'd be the starter, and he wouldn't
Yep,
have anything to do with Havertz, and Havertz would
yep.
be on the bench. And I think that's the dumbest move to do because you can take a book out of Man City. They just sold. They're going to get rid of Jack Grealish after they spent 100 mil on him, and he was relegated to the bench the entire season. Um,
You're spot on with that because Arteta still wants to prove and make this Kai Havertz signing work. I've said
Yep.
it before many times. He loves the guy. You know, he wants to make that signing work. He wants to prove that that wasn't a mistake. The guy's still on big wages. He's the highest paid earner at the club, if I'm not mistaken, close to
Yep.
300K a week, stealing a living. So Arteta's not going to bring in a guy like Gyökeres, right? Who Gyökeres will demand to play week in week out. He's more ready made. He's already established. He's going to want to demand to play week in week out, and whereas Sesko, you know, in typical Arsenal fashion, you can kind of dress up that signing as, oh, he's young, give him time. That'll allow Kai Havertz to play and maybe, you know, share the playing time, right? Kai Havertz gets a start, young guy comes off the bench and fills in and eventually will take over when he's ready. You know, he's able to balance out the strikers that way. You know,
Yep.
Sesko's not going to come in and demand to start week in, week out. He's coming in, learning the league, this and that, like we said, whereas Gyökeres is more ready made. He may not accept that. He may want to come in and know get guarantees that
Yep.
I'm the starting guy,
Yeah, of course.
right?
Of course.
It's shit like that, man.
It's bullshit. Um, Couple things before we get into the fixture list. Miles O'Skelly, on happier note, before I go back to the negative note, Miles O'Skelly signing a long-term deal. Apparently, he's committed. He said he's fully committed. So that's a um, huge win for us.
Hmm.
Berta needs to get Wanyeri done next. Saliba, Saka, those are the big three names that are kind of left to get done. Um, I was listening to Arscast, shout out Arscast, and they said that apparently I forgot who he was talking to. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. One of the commentators on the Arscast, he was saying that he was chatting to Ian Wright, and apparently Ian Wright wants Benjamin Sesko. He thinks Sesko would be better for the Premier League, which again, at this point, I don't care if it's Sesko or Gyökeres, bring one of them in.
Just get your guy in. Yeah,
Bring one of
like
them in, and I want them in last week. I want them in 6 hours ago. I want them in like now. Just get them in. Just get them in and get them flowing with the team. Um, and apparently we're linked to Anthony Gordon for FFP reasons for Newcastle. I don't believe those links, to be honest with you. I don't see why they would get rid of Anthony Gordon unless push comes to shove. Um, I mean, he'd be a good signing, but I don't believe it for a minute that they'd want to get rid of Anthony Gordon.
I don't want to get too off topic here. But you know, I mean, I guess it's still on theme with Arsenal transfers as a whole, and I want your guys' opinion on this. But you know, we've seen this week that Nico Williams to Barca is pretty much almost a done deal. That was always kind of where his heart was set on. Next, wants to stay in Spain, wants to link up with Lamine Yamal and the rest of his Spanish, you know, colleagues and whatnot. Um, and you're talking about Anthony Gordon there. For me, it's Rodrigo or bust, especially now with the Nico Williams thing out of the way, you know. And I'm kind of happy about that personally because I didn't think Nico Williams' level is that high at the moment. He could get there one day, but I don't think he's there now. Um, and so it brings me back to my thing of, you know, Rodrigo should have always been the clear favorite for that left wing in my position. The only other player outside of a Rodrigo that would have been available within the last year or so that I would have taken was a Kvaratskhelia, but he's obviously at PSG now. Other than that, boys, like I find that the left wing market is a little bit weak at the moment. You know, like there's a lot of chat this week. I'm hearing from other Arsenal fans even saying that, you know, some of the players that are out there, like, you know, that we're linked with, whether it's like a Matoma, if we're keeping it in the Premier League, Matoma from Brighton, Ademola Lookman, Anthony Gordon, as you just
Semenyo,
mentioned, Nico Williams, like these guys, how far is their level really above a Martinelli? You know what I mean? Like, are they really that much better than a Martinelli? You know, I want somebody
I
that's
would
going to
take
be a
Mitoma over Martinelli, bro, for sure. What?
but is it my but here's my thing. Is that
he
like a
doesn't raise the
clear
level though. He doesn't
right?
raise the level.
Like we're talking about I got here's where I'm going with this overall, guys. Like I think the left wing market is not what it once was. I think the left wing market is weak. Like do you remember an era of the left wing market where we had Eden Hazard, Alexis Sanchez, Neymar, Ribery, Sadio Mane, all in one. Like those were the elite left wingers. This is not too long ago either, boys. Like you know, in and around the mid 2020, like 2015, 2010 to 2015 to 2020 period. You know, about that 5-10 year period where you had elite left wingers. Like right now, there's not a lot of those, or even a lot of those available. Like I'm thinking right now, your Vinny's, Mbappe when he was drifting out to the left when he played for PSG. But otherwise, there's not that many elite left wingers or elite left wingers available. I don't think personally. So some of those guys that we're talking about that we just mentioned, I don't think they raised the level that
It'd be
crazy.
good bench depth. Like if we got rid of a Trossard, I would love to bring in Matoma.
Right,
Or
sure.
like a Nico Williams from Forest, for example.
But who
Like
really raises the level? Like, would you
no.
like Rodrigo for me is the one that clearly raises the level that's available. Like I said, it would have been Kvaratskhelia from PSG, but he's obviously left there. I don't
I
know.
think the easiest thing to do with that is if we're not getting get a Rodrigo, bring in Sesko. You have Gabriel Jesus that can play on both sides, and then like for me, get someone that's proven in the Premier League. Right? Like if there is no market and you can't get a Rodrigo, bring in someone who's proven it in the Premier League, like an Antoine Semenyo or like a Matoma or something to push Martinelli because Martinelli, the one thing that he knows is he has more pace than Trossard. And there's going to be games where he's going to get picked, even if he's in bad form, because we need that outlet. We need that pace. But if you bring in a Matoma, if you bring in a Semenyo who can match Martinelli on that pace, then it's going to push him to actually remember that, hey, I'm Brazilian and I need to play Brazilian, not fucking. So I'm not going to say Burkina Faso, but from a different whatever nation like that doesn't play with that pizzazz and that style. Um,
So okay, and I have a question actually. This one is for Laurent. So from Arsenal's squad building perspective, right? Like we need to do something that raises the ceiling as opposed to raise the floor, if you see what I'm saying. What we did last summer was we raised our floor in terms of we improved our squad by bringing in Marino Calafiori, but we didn't raise the ceiling, aka we didn't get the striker to get us over the line, to improve our first 11. We improved the squad overall, but we didn't improve our first 11. So my question to you would be, Laurent, like you mentioned Matoma, so that's why I wanted to kind of pick your brain on this. Do you think Matoma raises Arsenal's level in terms of their first 11 and improves our starting 11 to the extent that I think Alexander Isak would as a striker coming in? Instantly raises the level, Rodrigo, as I mentioned, on the left wing. But for some reason, I just want to get your thoughts on the Matoma because you think that he's a clear upgrade to Martinelli. I think the stats show otherwise because he's not, I wouldn't say he's as productive or even significantly more productive than Martinelli in terms of his level of productivity in the final third. But like, what do you think? You think that he raises Arsenal's starting 11 and helps Arsenal get over the line?
I mean, eye test wise, just from watching the guy play and what he's done at a club that isn't at the level that you guys are at, right? So mind you, right? You think he's not as productive in the final third, but I feel like he knows, bro. Like there's a point in the league, in the Premier League. I don't know if you remember that he had a year, I swear, where he was like successful one-on-ones, like you know what I mean? Like in terms of
Mm-hmm.
that, like he was like beating guys, like it was ridiculous. Right? I don't know if you guys remember. I think it
Yeah,
was probably like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, like
A couple of years ago.
yeah.
But for me, mind you, like Martinelli's, if we're talking about over the years, Martinelli's best season in the Premier League is 15 goals in the league, which was two years ago, 2 or 3 seasons ago. I don't think Matoma's ever touched that.
Mm.
But I see what
But
you're
at
saying.
the
I
same,
do see what you're
yeah,
saying.
I see what you.
Eye
But
test,
honestly,
eye test.
yes, eye test wise, like I'd have to just give it from because he's just consistent, bro. Like in terms of like his ability to even want to take on and the way he goes about it too. Mind you, it doesn't even seem like he has the extraordinary pace that I guess Martinelli bring up.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just like his his finesse and his way of doing it. And it's just like now that you mention it, it's like, well, if Martinelli just kind of went about it that way, then there's no need to have a Matoma. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the funny
fair.
part. But for whatever reason, I don't know. Martinelli just does not play like that. And I've even looked up some highlight clips of him a few days ago, right? Because I just want to, and like I even watched the game again, like the Brazil game that they had. I don't know if it was the first game under Carlo
Carlo.
Ancelotti,
Ancelotti,
yeah.
yeah, or the second game. But again, it's like he's more of a rugged winger, like Martinelli. When you think
Mhm.
about it, right? Like yeah, there's no flair to his game.
He's not Brazilian.
Yes, yes.
Like,
Funny enough, man. Hey, man. You know, at that point, maybe a DNA test is due, or one of those. Yeah,
you are not
yeah, yeah,
Brazilian.
yeah. But in terms of your original question, does it raise the ceiling? I would have to say no. That so then yes, it wouldn't even make sense to I guess like bring him on, right? Because you're not doing much. Um, but yeah, like it's like you say, bro. Like you guys have to figure out that left winger solution. Now Rodrigo, bro, is not even looking like a possible alternative. I don't know if you guys have heard, right? It seems like even Xabi Alonso wants to keep him there
Yeah.
at Real Madrid. He did get to play in the Club World Cup. He had an
Very
assist.
underwhelming. Yeah, but a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
underwhelming performance.
Yeah, but I mean, mind you, this is the guy that Ancelotti was like, "Hey, take a rest," and he just came back. So it's like that performance can be excused, right? And at the end of the day, yes, underwhelming, but you still managed to put up something, right? Like, yeah, and they're also saying, well, because it was Trent as well, that Trent system, right?
Hmm.
At some point, because I think he was playing on that side, right, and it wasn't working too well.
So Rodrigo was playing on the right in that game.
Yes, I think Vinny was on the left.
Mm.
Yes, yeah, Vinny was on the left, Rodrigo was on the right, and then that's where Trent is, right, on the right wing. Yeah, so a lot of people were commenting on that. Well, it was a bit weird, right? And growing pains when you have bring in new players as well, and they haven't adjusted, right? And like I said, that guy, bro, he hasn't seen football in or that he's used to, when he was playing at his highest level. And yeah, no, so I think it'll take a bit of time for him to find his bearings. But
I say. Sorry, continue.
no, no, no. But I think in that position, if you're talking about the guy that does raise the ceiling, yes, he would be the player for sure. But now it's just not looking like a likely scenario. So I don't know how you guys are gonna manage with that.
Yeah, all I was gonna say was I was gonna say watch this space because I don't think that saga is like over or concluded. I
Yeah.
think that this could rumble on for the duration of the transfer window this summer. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Rodrigo is locked in. That's it. Certainly staying. I think there's still some moving parts. Whether he goes or not is a whole other thing, obviously. But I don't think at today's stage we could say that it's for sure thing. I think there's still going to be some stories to be
And it's
written about this one.
and it's better for them to say that they want to keep him to drive the price up rather than to say, yeah, he's got to go and drive the price down.
Mm.
So it could also be a little bit of an act there too. So
All it takes is a Berta or an Arteta. We all hear these stories about how Arteta's so good at talking to players and convincing players. All it takes is an Arteta to go to him and knock on his door and table a bid, throw in a first bid, unsettle him a little bit, and say, yo, we're willing to make you the main man at our club. You're still here. You're still behind Vinny and Mbappe. You're going to come to Arsenal. You're going to be the main man. Do your convincing powers. You did it with Declan Rice. You've done it with certain players in the past that you've convinced to come to the club. I think that there's an opportunity to do that with Rodrigo because as much as, like Murdan said, in the media, Madrid is going to say certain things, right? They're going to say not for sale, this and that, happy at the club. It's one thing to put on that smoke screen in the media, but behind the scenes, like there's still things going on, and I think so.
still
I think that
unrest.
yeah, I think so personally, and I think if we were to go there with a bid, why not try it, test the waters, and talk to them a little bit, tell them what you have to offer, make it an attractive proposition, and then who knows. So we'll see.
One player that Arteta couldn't convince, Thomas Partey does look like he is actually going to Barca on a free transfer. Um,
Yeah, that's insane, bro.
huge letdown
You
for.
guys think he's going to Barca? Huh?
Yeah, of course. Why not?
Mm.
He's gonna take that role from Frankie De Jong and run with it, and he suits Barca's playing style. It's just really sad because he had an unreal year, and the one thing that I keep coming back to is just give him a 1-1. Give him the same deal that you gave Jorginho. You give him 1 year, whatever rate he wants, and the second year is a player option. If we want to keep him, we keep him. If we don't want to keep him, just let him go. Like, why are we unsettling the midfield again? We already unsettled it by bringing in Marino, and we had to make shift because Marino wasn't it. And now we're gonna unsettle it again, bringing in Zubimendi, and now Zubimendi has to go from being someone that could potentially, especially with the fixture list that we have, being someone that can maybe start off the bench, right, to coming in to being like, okay, you really got to hit the ground running. Um, I don't know. I'm not really happy about that. That's a gut punch.
I think, yeah, it almost kind of waters down the Zubimendi signing
Yep.
because again, we're talking about raising the ceiling and raising the floor, right? Zubimendi and Partey, that's an upgrade to Partey and Jorginho from last season, right? Um, However, which way you want to look at it, one will eventually become the starter, the other one is on the bench. That's two solid options, you know. And with all due respect to Jorginho, he did his thing at Arsenal, but like I said, two number sixes in Partey and Zubimendi is stronger than Partey and
Good
Jorginho, right?
point.
Um, but now, if you lose both Jorginho and Partey, and you only have a Zubimendi in, that's like almost one step forward, two steps back. You know, like
Mhm.
when also there's so many other positions to fill, you're now going to need another midfielder. We can't just have Zubimendi in the sixth position alone, right? All season, that's super risky. And in a position where it's such an important part of Arteta's system, the number six, right? Who dictates play, collects the ball off the back four, relieves pressure. Who does that better than Partey, right? And Zubimendi's coming into a new league. He's going to need that adaptation period. And we've now, if the rumors are true about Partey and we lose him alongside of Jorginho, that's two experienced figureheads in that dressing room that you've just lost.
Yep.
Who does Zubimendi come in and learn his trade off of, right? Like he needs somebody experienced alongside him to help him groom him into the role. You know, I would still have started Partey to start the season and eventually
Yep.
group Zubimendi into the role. Similar to what Man City did with Fernandinho. Rodri came in, they had a season or two together. Eventually, Fernandinho phased out. Boom, Rodri's in. I don't think he does that the same without a Fernandinho mentoring him and guiding him through.
No.
Right? We
He
don't have
won't be as
time.
good as what he was. Like, there's no
Yeah,
way.
we don't have time to kind of babysit and carry guys along, right? We're trying to win a league next season. Let's be honest. So we don't have time for to babysit Zubimendi and get him up to speed. Like no, we needed one of a Jorginho or a Partey there to help him and guide him along. And I would say at this moment in time, Partey is we're underestimating as you said, Murda, we're underestimating how good this guy is. He's one of the best sixes in the world.
Yeah, man.
He's elite. Partey. He is elite, and his level last season showed that he can still
Yeah.
play.
He's still balled out. And that's the thing. I think we talked about it. Like, I think we've talked about it on off air and on air. Like, there is something about the African playing style that when you get the ball, when you receive it from your keeper, when you receive it from your defenders, the the offensive players are right on you. And like you have to have flair to get around them. Whereas in the Premier League, it's more of a physical game. You don't necessarily need to be tactically sound. Like you don't need to have flair with your feet, and you see it like a Declan Rice. Um, I wouldn't say Jude that much, but like you see it in the British six players that they just can hold off the player, pass, and then kind of get them in a position where they're facing forward. They don't receive the ball well with their back to the players. Partey last year, every single time that we were in pressure, he received the ball, turned away from
Yeah.
traffic. He made Caicedo go on a slippery slide. Remember that? Fucking dummied him. Like
Yes.
those are the things that Declan Rice needs to develop still. And do I think that it's a Declan Rice thing? No, I just think it's the way that the game styles of like an African nation and the way that they teach their players versus a British style where it's like it's going to be physical, whereas the African nations are like, okay, you have to have flair, you have to receive and turn and go. Right? They're going to hit you, but you got to receive and turn, right? Whereas in Europe, they're like, okay, you get hit, go down. Okay, what happened? Like, of course they're gonna hit you. Like you're coming to get the ball from you. Um, and I think that's gonna change Arteta's game plan because I don't think from watching Zubimendi in the Nations League final, I think he's gonna be good, but I worry that especially with our fixture list, like it's gonna be a hard start.
Yeah.
Like for those of you that haven't seen the fixture list yet, August we start off Manchester United away, Leeds at home, and then Liverpool away, followed by Forest at home, City at home, Newcastle away. So that's August, September,
It's a mad start, bro.
right? Like we're facing Newcastle, City, Liverpool, United. Like that's make or break. I don't care what anybody says, that's make or break. So if you don't have your shit together and you're not getting these players in now, and we're not even talking about Champions League games coming in, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, you know, we're not talking about any of that. We're not talking about international breaks when the players go on, they may come back with a knock or something. Like, we're just talking about, you know, a fear, like one of the craziest starts to a season I've ever seen. So, in my notes, I wrote like, is this going to be a wake up call for Berta and Co? Sure as hell should be. We talked about it. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not optimistic. Um, and kind of the negative news keeps on coming. Carlos Cuesta, he's leaving to become the head coach at Parma. I don't know, CJ, what your thoughts on this are. I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. Since Arteta's been here, he's had the same coaching staff. Is it good to have a new voice coming in? Is it bad to have a new voice? Is it going to help or is it going to unsettle? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. What's your take on it?
It's unfortunate, I think. Definitely a little bit unfortunate, but I wouldn't say anything more than that. It's unfortunate in the sense that, you lost a good young coach who's been around the club, been around the group for a while. Clearly, Arteta values him highly, and the players value him highly. They speak highly of him. The players love him. Um, so it's a loss for the group. But coaching turnover is not uncommon. We see it all the time.
Yeah.
Um, so we're just gonna have to get on with it. It's not a big player that we're losing. It's definitely just more of a sentimental thing, and in the sense that this is a coach who's been with Arteta for when he first started this journey and brought him on and groomed him along. And yeah, like I said, the players really enjoy his presence, and he's a really good coach. You can see that. We saw some of that in the documentary, the All or Nothing documentary. He's good one on one with the players and so on. So, yeah, he definitely a good coach that we're going to lose. So it is unfortunate in that sense, but it's going to be an opportunity for a fresh voice. There was rumors that eventually our Arteta wants to get Santi Cazorla on board and the coaching staff once he hangs up his boots. Um, but for Cuesta, it's good for him. Coaches we're seeing now getting younger and younger in the game. It's crazy. Like you mentioned it just last week, Murdad. Your coach of the season was Brighton's young coach. Um,
Hertzler, Fabian Hertzler.
right. So we're seeing a lot of young coaches now in the game. Um, Xabi Alonso still relatively young. Arteta himself is young, and we're seeing a lot of these young coaches come out at such an early age, like 29. Cuesta's 29. Like that's still you can still be a player. You know what I mean? Like at 29 years old. Jack Wilshere, another young coach. So yeah, it's not uncommon now that we're seeing all these young coaches in the game, and it's good. It's good for him to get an opportunity to coach a team that's in Serie A. But we're definitely gonna miss him. But we just gotta keep it moving. Our priorities are on the players at the moment and getting our signings in. So, but it's good for him. It's a good opportunity.
Yeah. Just quickly before we move on to the surprise that I had for you fellas, surprise for the listeners as well. Um, Turkish League. I know off air, Laurent's like, why are we talking about the Turkish League? Um, So essentially, I don't know for those of you who have not heard, the Turkish League, the entire board of directors and the president resigned after their WhatsApp was leaked, which essentially showed a witch hunt for Jose Mourinho and Fenerbahce, essentially saying, you know, quote like, um, we're too easy on him. We should be harder. We're gonna get him back this year. We're gonna make things difficult for him. And Jose was talking about it, saying that the Turkish league is the most corrupt league that he's ever been a part of. And, rightfully so. He was right about it. Um, it just makes you wonder. The reason why I put this in the show doc is it really makes you wonder, like, does this, how we always talk about conspiracy theories? And we're always like, oh, there's a conspiracy against Arsenal, there's a conspiracy against Wolves, there's this, there's that, the unconscious bias and things like that. Stuff like this is what makes fans go down the loophole of conspiracy theories. Like, here's the evidence right here. There's board of directors, the president, they're literally saying that they're going to make it hard for Fenerbahce talking shit about different presidents of different clubs and they're saying that they're going to get Jose. Mind you, it's not a matter of whether you like Jose or not. I think he's a brilliant coach. Some of his antics are questionable, but he fights for his club. Stuff like this coming out just puts a sour taste in my mouth. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but for me, it doesn't. Yeah, just makes me feel like something eerie is happening in the background.
Yeah, no, I agree. Mind you, I didn't read the article to the extent that you did, but yeah, I don't think it's a good look. For the league in general, right? Yeah, people conspiring like that in the background. And it's like you said, right? It just goes to show we don't even know, right? If this is indicative of what goes on, right? Um, Across different organizations, different clubs, different leagues, right? Who knows? Who knows what goes on behind the scenes that we don't, right? We don't see. We only know this because, again, it was leaked,
Yeah.
right? If we were on here like the week before, right, speculating on this, you could easily say it's all right. We're just it's conspiracy. You don't know, right? But yeah, I know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
not a good look.
leaks.
Yeah.
All right.
Any
Mhm.
sorry, I don't mean to switch gears for a second. Actually, I just wanted to. I was looking at something when we were talking about the fixture list. Um, in terms of the Premier League, can I a quick word from both of you on the start to the season for Arsenal and what you sort of expect? Um, Running through the games again quickly. Like let's just specifically with August and September because those are the important games that you mentioned as well, Merdad. United away, first game, August 17th. Leeds at home, August 23rd. August 30th, Liverpool away. Then international break. Then September 13th, Nottingham Forest home. September 20th, Man City home. September 27th, Newcastle away. So the first six fixtures. Um, Quick word on what you think. Murdad first.
Um, my prediction would be in order: win, win, draw, win, win, draw.
Yeah.
So essentially, beating United, beating Leeds, drawing against Liverpool, beating Forest, beating City, drawing against Newcastle. And I do think that that Leeds game is going to be a banana peel game.
Mm.
That's
So
my
I've been
feeling.
yeah. So
Even though
I've
it's
been
at home, even though it's at home and we have a great record against Leeds at home, I still think it's going to be a banana peel. That's my prediction, and I think
mm.
the only word that I can use for this is wow. That's
Is what?
wow.
Oh,
That's a word that I'll use for the first six games. Where are you, Laurent?
I mean, the only thing that doesn't make this the toughest first six games is the fact that Chelsea's not on there. Uh, but other than that, I will say United. Oh man, that United game is I think it's going to be a challenging game for Arsenal. For one, let's be real, man. Like that club has hit what appears to be rock bottom last season. I can't even see them going, or getting any worse. Any worse than that. Um, Amarin right now he has, mind you, like you guys have said, right? For those clubs that aren't in this competition, right? You have greater rest, and you have the opportunity, right, to reset, right? They've also been making moves in terms of their signings, right, or who they're looking to sign. So it's a plus for them. But in terms of the mentality of that club going next season, yeah, no, I do believe it's going to be a different Manchester United. So I'd be very wary to any Arsenal fan thinking that it's going to be a cakewalk, right?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, no. And then you have Leeds. Yeah, that I could see you guys winning. The Liverpool game, um, I'd have to give it to Liverpool on that. Simply because I think the roster and then Arnie Slot is just gonna pick up where he left off last season. Funny enough, right? I mean, he left off last season on a sour note. If you compare it to their season standard. But I think with the players that they brought in, right, to Frimpong and Florian Wirtz, right?
Yep.
So yeah, no, that those are truly great additions to the club. And then Nottingham Forest, man, that is a wild card to me. Because I don't know. Everything for them is pretty much the same, right? As of today, right?
As
Same
of right
manager.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a club that had a tremendous season last season by their standard. And who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah, I can see Arsenal winning that. But man, who knows what they do? And then the next two game, City Newcastle. Jeez. And man, yeah, that's back to back. That's like three games. Forest, City, Newcastle. And that City team, to me is looking very dangerous. Very,
Mhm.
very dangerous. I don't know if you guys noticed, but apparently Pep he has decided the captaincy
Yeah.
this year.
Hmm.
He took charge in it. Yeah, but no, those signings, man. Shirky, Mamouche, Foden, and they're looking good, man. I seen them play in the Club World Cup.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of fluidity to that team, man. With those players and even Doku, like we're still forgetting there's guys there that right. You guys are saying Grealish is out, but what the fuck was Grealish really saying? Um, like come on, man. But yeah, no. So I think if you guys do not win at least I think you guys would have to win at least minimum four or six in order to have a good start, right? And now the question is, well, who are the four that you guys are going to beat? And I'm not even saying draw. I'm saying it has to be like 3 points collected, right? To get a solid start to the season. And City, right? United, both Uniteds, and then Forest, and then you have Liverpool there. That's like the right. So it's gonna be very hard. And yeah, no. So I think if you guys don't sign those players, yeah, like the Rodrigos or the players that you guys need, and it makes it even more difficult for you going into the opening season.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
I think Murdad said it best. I think, what your predictions, I think, are what could be expected in terms of having a good start. I don't think Arsenal's looking to go for a title this season, right? Again, we're in phase 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. We're we're expected to be going for the league this season, right? So if we're a title challenging team, we shouldn't lose any of those 6 games, in my opinion. I think what you mentioned, Redad, is realistic. You beat United away. I don't care what state United is in. You beat United away. I think at now, I hear what you're saying, Laurent. They need to bounce back. They had a poor season. That was the standard. But let's be real. At this moment in time, they're still in an absolute mess, right? So it's going to take a while. I prefer to play United away first game of the season as opposed to United away, like say in December, January, once they've settled in, the players have settled in, they've got some rhythm. This is going to be the first game, the first competitive game of a new season. So they're still not going to be put together yet. They're still going to be having some of the hangover from last season, some of the remains, players coming in and needing to gel, things like that. So I think if you're going to play United away, the first game of the season is a good time. Like I said, as opposed to later in the season once they've finally gelled and whatnot. So I still expect us to go there and win. If I'm being honest with you, Leeds got to be a W. Definitely a banana skin type of game because they're fresh coming from the championship. They're going to be off a buzz. They're going to be hyped.
It's a free
Still,
hit. It's a free
got
hit
to
for
be
them.
yeah, still got to be nothing but 3 points. Liverpool away again. If we're trying to go for a league title, I can't be sitting here trying to predict losses and what I expect us. I'm coming with different energies and I have high expectations. I'm expecting us to get a point at least at Anfield, bro. Are we trying to win the league or not? You don't lose that game, bro. You get a draw. I'm not gonna be unrealistic and say, yeah, we got to go there get 3 points. Get a draw. We're talking about the title challenges here. Title challengers in Liverpool, title challengers in Arsenal.
Preach.
Got to get at least a draw. This is an Arsenal from 5-6 years ago where we were saying 3 points. We're lucky not to never mind lose the game. It was always a matter of how many are we going to get beaten by when we play against City or Liverpool. Keep the scoreline respectable. Keep it 3-0, 2-0. We're not getting battered by these clubs anymore. We're back essentially. We're supposed to be. Or I'm being told that we're back. Right? We're challenging for a title. Don't lose this game. Minimum draw.
Yeah.
Right? Forest at home. Again, you're going for a league title. Win the game. City at home, you're going for a league title. That's one of your title challengers. Knock them out, win the game. 3 points.
Yep.
Newcastle away, again, I fully agree with your prediction on that. It's got to be a draw at minimum. I understand. I'm not being unreasonable in saying you have to get 3 points because Newcastle away is one of the most difficult grounds in the league, and they have a good side. So I will accept a draw. But there's a lot of people here complaining about the start to the season and saying, "Oh my God, woe is me again. Tough season, tough start." I felt like that at first, but then I said, you know what? All these other clubs will look at Arsenal and say, shit, I don't want to play Arsenal, right? Like they'll look at us with the same energy. It's like, damn, Arsenal's one of the last teams in the league you want to play because that's one of the best teams in the league. Teams should be fearing us when they play us now. Like
not the other way around.
I'm coming with different energy now, boys. Like we have to be moving different if we want to win this league. Tough start or not, you play every team twice, right? Everybody's got to do it. Everybody plays every team twice. Liverpool actually also has a difficult start. City has a difficult start. United has a difficult start. You got to play every team twice, and I feel like Laurent, you'll have this approach as well. Like something in me saying that you don't necessarily feel bad for a team that has a difficult start because it's like get through it. If you're that team, if you're that guy, if you're that club, get through it, right? Like I don't want us to have excuses. We have a difficult start, yes, but again, everybody plays everybody twice, and it balances out for us because our run-in next April, May, if we're still in the title race by then, is favorable for us in terms of the fixtures.
Yeah.
So everybody's got to play everybody twice. It is what it is. You got to prepare for it, Mr. Mikel and the club. Prepare for it. Get the players. That's more, as you said, Murda, that's more of a sign to get the players in early, get them up and running, ready in preseason, get them up to speed. I don't want to see no deadline day signings and, none of that, bro. Get your main guys in early and get them up to speed. Let's get it, man. Like none of this. Tired of this shit. Yeah, go on.
No, from an Arsenal perspective, right? Like, obviously, I agree, like, with what you just said. For me, it's just, well, if the bar isn't moved in terms of, like, the signings and players, right, it's going to be the same woes as last season in terms of where the goal's going to come from, right? Because in order to win, you have to score. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to score. And, yeah, so it's just, like, who's going to step up? And then on the other end, you have the internal issues from the guys that are Odegaard. Is he going to have a similar season, right? What's going to be done about him and his efficiency and his ability to, want to take leadership within games, right?
Good point.
Because, definitely that has to be revamped, like, or that has to be looked at. If I'm Arteta, there's no way I can have this guy playing the same or having the same season he did last season, right? So it's just for me, right? Like those signings have to come in. And especially with a fixture that starts like this, right? Because mind you, right? Let's say you guys don't meet the quota or the threshold in terms of your signing, right? And you have a start like this with those 6 teams, and right, like let's say you draw like more than you win, you see, right? And now you're off to like a pretty not a good start. And then if you have Liverpool or those other teams that are suddenly right, whoop, gone, right? And now suddenly you're playing catch up again.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like the right, like the more how do you say it, the lesser morale, right, that can ensue when the season just started, right? Because we know now, right, with the Premier League, it's like, it's whoever really takes off. It's very rare for a team to have a bad start and then they'll start, coming back. Like it's usually whoever is really off to a good start and then they're maintaining that, and then Christmas comes around, right, and they're already in that position, right? Because it's hard, man. especially like halfway through, and then mind you, you're playing in other competitions, your players get injured, you're tired, right? There's all kinds of factors that starts to creep in. So it's like, yo, you want to start running, and to get that to start running, like for Arsenal, has to come with the offensive power that is going to come from those signings in the summertime, and
Yep.
that leads on to that, right? So yeah, no, I agree. I agree. So long as the signings are in place, for you guys, in my opinion.
All right. Let's shift things into a lighter tone. And like I said in the group chat, fellas, CJ, no extensions, no bullshit. You're gonna answer the questions. I'm not gonna give you no time, none of this shit.
Yes, coach. Whatever you say, coach.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I could be a coach at my age. This Cuesta's doing it. Um, so the new segment. Hold on, time out. Why are you dying, bro? I'd be a better coach than Enzo Maresca with 45 mans running down up and down the field.
Jeez.
Yo, you see what I mean, bro? Now, yo, it's like now I know, like, yo, you guys actually just love to just hate, bro. Because I wasn't even laughing at you. I was laughing because, damn, bro, this guy's on that kind of time, you know? Which is why I assume CJ was kind of like giggling too. And now, where does Chelsea? Why is Chelsea or Maresca? Why is anything Chelsea relating being like? You know what I mean? Like, why, bro? You guys have like you guys hate the Blues just for hating the Blues, bro. Like that's it.
Just banter, bro. It's just banter.
No, fuck that, bro. Like I know deep down, and say they don't like the Club World Cup because Chelsea's in it, bro. At the end of the day, like
Wow,
yeah,
look at this blasphemy. Oh
yeah,
my
but yeah, you know
goodness.
what? Yeah, let's see what kind of
All right.
surprise you have for us.
So the segment's called Would You Rather? I'm gonna ask a question. There's gonna be two options, and both of you answer. Try to keep your responses not like overly intricate, but give a little response. Um, so first question, would you rather, and some of them are more dedicated to CJ, some of them are more dedicated to you, Laurent, but feel free, both of you can answer. First one, would you rather see Arsenal break their title drought and finally lift the Premier League trophy, or watch them finish for a fourth consecutive season in second place, but go all the way and win the Champions League?
So basically, would you rather them win the Premier or the Champs?
Pretty much.
Champions League.
What would you say, Laurent?
Champions League, what? Really?
Fam, I've seen us win the Prem, albeit I was fucking young, but Arsenal's won the Prem
Okay,
in
okay.
my lifetime.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
we need a gold star above the badge for Champions League, fam. We have not fucking won a Champions League.
Yeah, I guess. I
And all
guess.
the songs would stop too.
Yeah, that's true. That part of the banter would come to a close the moment that happens.
Yep.
But as a
So
neutral, Laurent, what would you say? What would
for
you
me, it's
rather see Arsenal do?
Prem, Prem, because I gotta have that banter, in my back pocket at all times, ready to
Yeah.
load.
Oh, you're saying you'd rather Arsenal win the Prem for that reason?
Yeah.
Uh, Makes
Yeah,
sense.
you guys can win like 100 prems in the next 100 years. And if that gold star isn't on, bro, yo, I can be on my deathbed and still have the willingness to talk, out of my ass, bro. Like, yeah, so,
That's funny.
that's my answer,
Oh,
man.
shit. All right. Second question. Would you rather support Liverpool as they defend their crown under Arne Slot, but Chelsea don't finish in a European spot for next season? Or watch Arsenal win the Premier League, but Chelsea finish second?
Wait, who's answering that first?
You could answer it first.
Yeah, I'd pick the second option. What the hell?
So you'd be okay with the entire season, CJ and I bantering you that you guys are sitting behind us.
As opposed to us not finishing in the top,
Top six or top seven or
yeah,
whatever
what the
it is.
fuck, bro? Yo, you send your banter, bro. I just fucking put on my, you know what I mean? Like, tune you guys out, bro. Like, nah, man. Yeah, second. Yeah,
I'm
and that's
Yeah,
a
saying,
that's a huge improvement for us, bro. Like, yeah,
yeah,
I was gonna say it probably doesn't phase him much, anyways. Because I mean, right now we're still finishing like well above them. regardless, right? So nothing. Bro, this is not even banter, fam. You're actually blowing this out of proportion. I'm just saying, Laurent. You know what I'm trying to say? Like for the last couple of years, we've been finishing ahead of you guys, anyways. So it's like,
Yeah,
what,
yeah,
what,
yeah. He
what
knows what
really,
you're trying to say. He knows. He knows. Look at
what
that
really, what
face.
really changes? Bro, this we're not trying to stir the pot, fam. I swear that was the most genuine question.
All right. Um, Third question. Would you rather see Chelsea under Enzo Maresca build toward long-term dominance, favoring youth and depth because they have like 45 minutes in their roster, or have them spend big on a few veterans and push for the Premier League title?
That's that first option. How long are we talking? What's the timeline for that?
Long term, let's just say 6 years.
Oh, what the fuck, bro?
uh,
6 years from now, give me
Well, this would be year two of
year
six.
two, and that means like from within till now till like we cannot win anything, is what you're saying essentially.
Yeah, potentially you don't win anything.
Yo, who the fuck are these architects and these tall ass buildings they're trying to build, bro? Like I'm not trying to, you know what? No, fuck that, bro. Yeah, I'm on that Abramovich time. If you can't do it within the next, year or two, you get the fuck out.
Okay.
Yeah, get the fuck
CJ,
out.
what would you say as a neutral?
yeah, bro. I agree. There's no time like the present, bro. Man's not time to wait. Fucking to build the CN Tower, fam. Like, get your veterans in and try and win now. We can't wait for that long of a timeline.
Okay. This next one's gonna be a little contentious. Would you rather watch Spurs get to the Champions League semifinal and have Arsenal not make it out of the playoff stage, or lose to Chelsea in the semifinal as they go to win the Champions League?
I mean, I already know what my answer is. That's for CJ to answer for real.
Um, well, like, do I know that Spurs are not going to win it? Like, do I know? I guess I don't know that ahead of time, do I? Because for me, yeah, like if we get knocked out in the group stage and Spurs get knocked out in the semis, I mean, ultimately, neither of us have won it. So I would take that.
Yeah, but we don't know what would happen. But for certain, if we lose to Chelsea, they win the Champions League.
Sorry, what stage did we lose to Chelsea at?
Semis.
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 We also don't know at that stage that Chelsea's going to go on to win it. We just know that they've beaten us, right? So basically,
No,
like,
no, no, no.
That's
For that, would you rather like they go on and win it? Like they beat us and then they go on and win the Champions League. But we just don't know what happens with Spurs when they get to the semis. They could win, they could
hmm
lose, they could go on to win it all.
Oh, I see, I see. Oh shit, that is a difficult one. Damn. Shit, I'd probably take my chances with Spurs because I think Spurs will Spurs it up, bro. They're not winning no Champions League, so I'd say like the first option.
Okay.
jeez.
For me, I would take the first option too. I ain't gonna fucking have Laurent on this pod coming out fucking big grin every single like no, no, no. I ain't gonna have that.
Imagine, bro. Chelsea win three Champions Leagues before we win one. Like that's wild, bro.
Yo, y'all would not hear the end of it, bro. Tell you that right now.
Oh fuck.
uh,
All right. Second last one. Would you rather
Actually, I have a bonus question at the end when you're done all this.
Okay.
We're done, but
Would
continue.
you rather lose a London Derby by 3 goals or lose against a newly promoted team by 3 goals?
Hmm.
And you don't know who the team is in the London Derby, right?
And for our case, it would be Spurs. For Chelsea, is it Fulham? I feel like Fulham and
Because you said London Derby, so London Derby could be against Fulham, against Palace, for
yeah,
either of us.
yeah, any London Derby. But obviously, the more contentious one,
Mm.
I would say try to think about that.
Mm.
So for us, it'd be like, would you rather lose to Spurs by 3 or lose to Sunderland by 3?
Nah, I'll take y'all, the newly promoted team. Give them their grace.
Wow.
No, no. Because yo, if we're talking about open London Derby, that means you could lose to one of your local rivals, like a Spurs or a Chelsea, or Spurs even worse, right? Losing a North London Derby by 3 goals? Nah, nah. Fuck that.
Laurent, what do you say?
I'd rather lose the London derbies.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you'd rather lose to like Arsenal
Full,
by 3? anymore.
Arsenal, Fulham, yeah.
Spurs, really?
Yeah, no, I'm not. What the fuck? To a newly promoted team, bro? That has no business happening, bro. Like zero business.
Fam, some would say you don't lose a London derby though. I mean, I get it. Chelsea doesn't. I mean, Chelsea has rivals in London, but like for us, I don't know. It's like a pride of London thing, you know? Like
Bro, that would be Leeds, right, for you guys? In this case, right?
No,
Excuse me.
Sunderland.
no,
No, is wait, Leeds was here. Hold on, let me check.
Are you talking about who our London rival is?
No, 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 no. The newly promoted team.
It'd be
Wouldn't that be?
Sunderland, Leeds,
Yeah,
and
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Leeds. That second game for you guys.
yeah. Oh, okay, and that's yeah, yeah, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What the fuck, yo? You would lose that 3-0, bro? I swear at that point you got to pack the season and start over, bro. Like
no,
what?
no, no. That can happen, bro. Over your London rivals, fam? No,
Nah, man. What,
no.
bro? Do
Come
you know
on,
how,
bro.
bro? That's your second game, eh?
Fam, if you lived in London, people like that would flame you for saying that. You know how much pride those
Wait,
people
wait,
have
wait.
in London? You can't lose to your
I
local rivals,
I
fam.
understand, but yo, you're losing to a team that just got promoted. That has no business happening. You
That's
just said
fine, bro. That's
we're
a
the great
one-off.
Arsenal. Everyone should fear us. Clearly, this team has has no respect for you guys if they're beating you 3-0, bro.
Yeah, it's a one-off, bro. That can happen. Fam, to lose to your London rivals, bro. Do you understand over
What?
there? That's religion, fam. It's like Crips and Bloods. Like if you get caught and an Arsenal ends wearing a Spurs kit or vice versa, bro, they can kill you for that shit, bro. This shit, you know how deep that rivalry is? You know, you can't lose to your London rival, fam. It's serious out there. I'll lose a one-off to fucking Leeds or Sunderland, fam. Like, what are they gonna do? Go on and win the league? No, bro. Like, it's a one-off. It happens. Give them their airtime. To lose to your local London rivals? Nah, fam. You can't have that. That's
Damn.
religion.
Wait. So wait, Murdad, what's your take on that? Like,
Yeah, mm-mm. I'd rather lose to a newly promoted team.
jeez.
Because, bro, what does that do for you? Like, yes, you've lost the game. So what?
It's a
But
free hit for them, right? Like they're gonna come out guns blazing.
yeah, if you lose to your rivals, fam, nah.
Yeah, honestly, bro, I put that on the same um in the same regard as what was that team that Spurs faced in was it the Carabao Cup? No, what's that? It was in the FA Cup. Yeah, yeah, and that team had like part-time players, I swear, bro. Like,
Oh, the plumber.
yes, yes, and
Oh.
then they took them to like one
Yeah, yeah,
extra
yeah, yeah.
overtime. Bro,
Fuck.
nah, nah, fuck that, man. Nah, yo, that's so embarrassing, bro. That is truly embarrassing. Like,
Yeah, yeah, but
especially at
no,
it.
no, but they're in non-league. I'm not
Hmm?
talking about a non-league team. So
Yeah,
like
but even
Division
then,
Two,
those
you're talking
new
about a
pro.
newly promoted team.
It's like, bro, like, yo, if anything, you're supposed to give him the introductions, like, welcome to the big leagues. You know what I mean? It's not the other way around, bro.
It's
Like,
a one-off game, though, fam. We're not saying that that you're gonna finish below them now and everything. This is a one-off game versus your fucking local rivals, fam. They take so much pride in that shit. That shit's so serious over there.
I mean, damn, bro, you know the pundits are gonna have a field day, bro. Like,
They're gonna have a field day either way, but like a North London derby is gonna continue until the next time they face each other.
Hmm.
Whereas the next time that we face a Leeds or Burnley or Sunderland, we're gonna fuck them up,
mm,
right? So, all right, second last one before CJ asks his question. Sorry, my last one before CJ asks his question. Um, would you rather um accidentally score an own goal, which causes your team to win, or miss a open net sitter, which causes your team to game?
oh, that's easy, bro. What? That is so easy. Y- Yeah, either wait, on in both scenarios, your team loses, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm taking the own goal. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah,
Yeah.
obviously, bro. Like an open sitter, nah, man. Nah.
Yeah. Yeah. The open sitter one that can haunt you forever, bro.
Yeah, nah, man. Nah. Own goal, like, yeah, okay. Like, as long as it's not a stupid own goal, you know what I mean? Because there are degrees to own goals. Like,
Define a stupid
all
own
right,
goal.
ball. Like, okay, a stupid own goal would be you had all the time in the world, right? The ball didn't even come with speed, um, and somehow it hits you, and then it goes in the back of the net, or almost, or even one. I'll give you one. I'll give you one. It's like you try to head it to the keeper, and somehow you miss the keeper, and then it goes. You see what I'm saying? I swear I've seen that shit, bro. Like no, like I'm being dead serious. That shit happens, right? Like you almost think the guy was like trying to like was on the opposite team, trying to be like a striker and head the ball inside the net, right? Like something like
Fair.
that. Yeah, yeah. But if it just like it ricochets off you and like you didn't react in time, and yeah, like there's not much you can do.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. CJ, you go.
Yeah, probably the own goal. Yeah, I think, man, because yeah, own goals can happen for so long as you don't literally, yeah, like stoop something stupid like Laurent said, or you literally physically don't go, turn around and kick the ball in your own net. The fuck? Yeah, own goals can happen, but yeah, there's pain that goes along with missing a big chance in a game that you can win. You know, that shit's gonna haunt you forever.
That's Darwin Nunes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
funny enough, I feel like this question is also positional based. Because if you have a defender that misses, it's like if I'm the striker from any of the attacking players on that team, that's more so understandable because it's not his job, you know? Whereas if it's a defender and now I'm like the striker and I'm looking back and like, bro, you just put the ball in the back of your net, like like it's like do your fucking job. Like you see what I'm saying? Like a
So,
defender,
like, if you're like for example, okay, so let's just say this question is, would you rather, and you're Darwin Nunes.
yeah, if I'm not striker, no, then I'm picking the option where like I'm the open net, I have to score that. But if I'm a
He
defender now,
misses those.
yeah, that's it's a funny, right? But like if I'm a defender and you ask me that question, and it's like, yo, like I'm costing my team the game by putting. Nah, I wouldn't want that on my because it's like I'm the line of defense. I'm not supposed to be putting the ball in the back of my own net.
Hmm,
Whereas I'm also not supposed to be the guy scoring. You see what I'm saying? So if I do get that chance and I miss, yeah, it's bad. But it's like I know the expectations aren't for me to score. If you see what I'm trying to
fair.
say.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know about that. See, where the context to that is, I feel, is more likely the players scoring own goals are defenders generally. So that's why it's a kind of almost common that the own goals conceded are from defenders, right? Just based on positionally, all the time. How many times do we see a low ball driven hard into the box, and it ricochets off the defender and goes in the back of your net? So the defenders are more likely to concede an own goal just because of the positions that they're in, closest to goal. Um, and then on the other end, like I don't think it depends. It's circumstantial, you know. Whether you're a striker, midfielder, defender. If you miss an open goal, that could and should still weigh heavy on your conscience, depending on the chance. Like if I'm a defender from a corner kick and I have an open header that I sky over the bar, that's still going to haunt me the same way, regardless of my position. Because as a center back, center backs, you know, defenders are meant to get on the end of aerial balls because defenders, center backs are typically good in the air. Um, so you know, imagine like corner kick for Arsenal. Saka puts the ball in the box. Gabriel, who's great from set pieces, misses a wide open goal from a corner kick. He has the goal to his mercy. No defenders on him. No one's covering him properly. Boom, puts the ball over the net with his head. That's going to haunt him just as much, regardless of the fact that he's still a defender. You know what I mean? So
Hmm,
I think it depends. Maybe Laurent, if like if you're a striker on like a breakaway or something like that, a defender should never really be in a position where they're in a breakaway. But if a defender's on a breakaway and they miss the chance, like whilst it's still a breakaway, it's like shit. Yeah, you probably should put that in. But a striker is more expected to put away, I don't know, a breakaway or
yeah.
some sort of like something like that. So, but I don't know. I still think that regardless, me as a defender, if I missed a position in a position where I probably should be scoring, it would still haunt me regardless. So I think yeah. For that matter, I would take the own goal.
Hmm. What was your question that you're gonna ask?
Ah, yeah, good question here for you guys. So, who do you think? Um, this is off the back of us talking about, if Chelsea were to get the third Champions League and this and that. Who do you think is more likely to win the Champions League next? Arsenal or Chelsea? And give us valid reasons why. Both of you. Like no banter, no bullshit. Who is actually like, more likely, logically speaking, without emotions, to win the Champions League next? Arsenal Football Club or Chelsea? Jeez, a lot of silence here. Guys think. I'll let you guys think. No problem.
I was just waiting for him to answer.
All right, Laurent. Yeah, and I want to hear from you actually first. Like, who's
Yeah, how,
winning the
how
Champions League next?
convenient, bro. And now you want to hear from me
Oh,
first.
I can ask
Heck.
Murad first. I can ask Murad first if you
All
want.
right. Yeah, no, man. I mean, off the back of just form and where the clubs are at, Uh, you said logically, eh?
Yeah, no
No
bullshit.
banter, no banter.
Banter aside, emotions aside, like realistically speaking, what do you think?
I mean, you guys were at the semis just now, so it's like obviously I think it'd be you guys in terms of just form. Um, yeah, I think we're if you level out where both clubs are at the moment, it would be Arsenal.
Well, mind you, you guys are in the Champions League next season too.
Yeah, but like I've said, bro, I don't think we have any business in that competition. I've mentioned this no, numerous times. Yeah, but now, funny enough, with that the lap signing, I don't know. I'm seeing a
He
bit
looked
more
good.
variety. Yes,
He looked good.
yes,
Him
yes.
and Jackson up top, they looked good.
No, fuck that. Fuck, yo, don't. No, 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 no. Because I'm telling you right now, that goal that the lap assisted for, Jackson would not have created it like that. I don't know if you've seen it, how it
I
was
did. I
maneuvered.
watched the highlights. That's why I said that
Yes,
the lap looks good.
yes, yes. That is just it's just variety, man. It's like Jackson, bro. Like, yo, sometimes yeah, I don't even understand, bro. Like him, Nunez, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, yo, you guys are coming off top performances in your leagues, and then suddenly you come here, and it's like you forget how to play, bro. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, so with the way we're set up, and then now I think Nkunku's playing the 10 role.
Did
Yep.
he start in the last game?
No, he didn't. He didn't start. I feel like he should have had more minutes though. He came on for Palmer. Which I think, yo, if he doesn't mind that, I don't think the fans would mind that. You know, if you
No, he's an amazing death piece.
yes, yes, definitely, yes. That's the key word. Yes. So, and honestly, bro, if I'm Maresca, like at this point, yeah, Palmer has provided you know, more numbers for us, but I wouldn't even want to favor either one. I'd give you guys, all right, who wants it? And then based
Yeah.
off whoever performs, you come in next week and you start on the team. You know what I mean? But yeah. So yeah, no, but Merdad, yeah, what about you? Who do you think?
I think obviously, like if you're looking at it like being realistic, I think Arsenal should should win one before Chelsea have a chance to win another one. But if it's not, if Arsenal don't win in the next 2 years, I think Chelsea are going to be a team that we have to be careful about because they've been there, they've done that, they know what it takes. They just won a European Cup, albeit it was Conference League, but still, they had to have that level of consistency. And they were playing rotated sides. It was only at the finals. And again, in the finals, they came back to win. And the manner in which they came back and, things like that, that's sometimes what we lack, right? We didn't take the semifinals seriously. We let the stage get too big for us. And it's almost like you know, we let one stage get too big, then we go over that leap and we get over that hump. Then the next stage is too big, then we get over that hump. Then it's like the next stage. So it's like, that's what I'm giving us the next 2 years, right? Um, for me, minimum this year would be like Prem, Champions League semifinal, and one of the Carabao Cup or like one of the domestic cups. That would be a successful season for me. Anything short of that is a fail, right? So for me, logically speaking, banter aside, I think Arsenal are better positioned. Um, but it's only for the next 2 years. So this coming year and the following year. After that, I think Chelsea has a better chance. I don't know if you agree with that or not, CJ, because I know you're the one who asked the question, but what's your take on your own question?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to have to be somewhere within the next 2 to 3 years, if that chance were to come, because yeah, eventually, they're gonna come back up, right? They're definitely gonna come back up. So I think it's funny. I told you guys keep the emotion and the all that out of it when answering the question, but the emotion in me is fearful to say Arsenal would win the Champions League next before Chelsea because I'm just coming from a place of, yeah, like fear and thinking of, typical Arsenal where we'll find some way to bottle it again. And then there Chelsea will go and creep up from underneath us. And and get the next one before we get our first, because there's that it's like the duck on our back, right? It's a hoodoo, it's the host on our back of that one thing that we can't get. Like City had it for a while until they eventually got over the line, right, with the Champions League. So for us, it's like that duck on our back, that thing that's haunting us. So from a fan's perspective, from the emotional side and the fearful side, it's like it's hard for me. I want to believe, but it's hard for me to believe that Arsenal can get it next because Chelsea, as Murdad said, they've done it, they've been there, done that, the experience. Whereas we have a good team now, but mentally, can we get over the line because of the duck on our back? That one thing that we crave for so long that we've never gotten. So there's that hesitation to say that we can get it next. But if you take all that aside, emotion and fear and all that stuff, the logic and the reasonability of it does stay. Yes, look at the position that we're in. We're almost there, and this goes for the overall picture of Arsenal Football Club. We're almost there in so many ways, second in the league 3 years in a row, Champions League semifinal just last year. It's like we just need that extra little inch to get over the line in any of those competitions. So we're closer than a Chelsea in that respect, right? We just can't let them catch up. And Laurent has been saying this for a couple of years now that yes, we're doing great things, we're finishing second, blah blah blah, but these teams they're not going to stay down forever. The Uniteds, the Chelseas, they're not going to stay down forever. They're going to come back up if we don't get our shit together, right? So we need to be there to take advantage. And so I think that's a good way to end it. But yeah,
Yes, sir. As always, hit that subscribe, hit that like button. We'll be back. The banter is gonna continue. The blue shirts are gonna slowly come out.
yo, one day we should actually have a jersey day on this pod. All of us, everyone just wears a jersey. Wears their team's jersey, I should say. You guys up for that or no?
This is cute. This is real cute. I love this, man. I love how you guys are figuring out ways to maneuver less explicitly. Like this is good.
No, but what's wrong with what I just said? Like, you should be
This
happy, proud to wear your club's jersey. Like, you're acting like I'm asking to move mountains here. Like, can we all just not come on the
no,
pod one day and wear our team's jersey? Is that a lot to ask for?
yeah. Let's do it. Kickoff day. Yeah, I'm down for. Yeah.
You see that, Murdat? It gives him time to buy a jersey, his first kit for his
Gives him,
club.
yeah, gives him time for the shipping to come over from the
Right,
UK.
right,
Gonna fly in that plane, land,
right.
Canada post strike.
Yeah, you have 2 months,
Yo, wait,
Laurent.
listen,
You have
listen.
two
The thing
months.
is, Laurent, when we start the banter and you just like make these like comments, it just makes it easy for us to keep going. Yeah, first day of yeah, bro, just fucking bring it out.
No, no, but I think it has value, no? Like the season's done, right? If we're gonna bust out the jerseys, then let's do it on a day where it's almost like it has significance. It's Memorial, right? Like
Okay,
yeah.
we'll do a Jersey day if if Chelsea gets to the FIFA Club World Cup final. If not, then we'll do it for the first day of the season or first recording after the this
So
weekend.
Sunny Chelsea has just gained 2 fans, temporarily.
What?
No, because you're like if they make it to the finals of the Club World Cup, right?
Yeah, because I'm just trying to like get you to
Yeah. No, so
agree
I
to
so I know
something.
now you guys are actually gonna tune in and be like, oh shit, hopefully they do, so that this guy can like finally, bring it out.
Anyways,
Wait, you
um,
you, you don't get what I'm trying to say?
I
Which
do, but it could just like I'm just trying to like meet you halfway.
Yeah, because obviously if we crash out, group stage, then that doesn't happen. So it's like, all right, f first fixture, and then maybe I can then, yes, get my shipping in order, right, and everything that needs to that needs to be had.
Uh,
But yeah, no, I'm up for it. I'm up for it. I'm up for it.
Yo, CJ, do you know where Laurent lives? Like, do you have his exact address?
I
Because
have an idea. I have an idea. Oh wait, okay. I'm thinking the Scarborough crib because that's where you said the jersey is. A lie, Laurent? You said it's
Right.
in the
bro, I'm
Scarborough.
tempted to like order a jersey for him from Temu and just make sure it gets it delivered like within the next couple weeks.
Are
Yo,
you
listen,
gonna
what?
Are you gonna get like a new kit, or would you bust out the old one that you supposedly have?
Oh, yeah, supposedly. Yeah, and I'll bust out the drug bug.
Mm.
Yeah. See that? It's the same name, right? It didn't switch to fucking Anelka or to any other player on the team, right?
You know what he has, Murdoch? He has just a Chelsea jersey with no name on the back. So he's gonna go home. He's gonna write on the back. He's gonna Drogba 11.
Wow.
Make it seem like it's vintage.
Why
uh,
not Jackson?
Nah, bro. That guy doesn't deserve to.
Oh, frick.
But yeah, I saw the new kids. I'm not a fan, man. I saw yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't know, CJ, you're trying to hype up the away kit, but
you
Chelsea's a
don't like it?
wicket?
yeah, it's like white and then it has like green stripes, right? Vertical, right? Like that.
Oh, that's actually that's not bad, actually.
I dropped it in the chat, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not bad. I'm looking at it on Google right now.
Yo, and side note, PSG is about to take a loss, eh?
Actually,
Yeah.
no. Wow.
Who are they playing?
Botafigo. Igor Jesus scored, and we were linked with him for like days. Sorry, months.
Where's that club from, anyways? Botafogo.
I'm pretty. If I'm not mistaken, I think Brazil.
Jeez. On another note, our NBA viewers, that looks like it's going to Game 7. Pacers are currently smashing OKC.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, Brazil. They're from Brazil. Um.
All right. Let's get this pod out for the people. We'll be back next week. As always, do the thing. We'll be back. Adios.
Peace.
Peace out.